Always on.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Double Pivot Podcast. I'm your host, Mohammed Hamza, and today we are going to talk about the big game on the weekend, Chelsea versus Liverpool, and we have two Chelsea fans in the blue corner, and we have Zain, and I'll hopefully pitch in and support him with the Liverpool talk. Let's introduce our panel today. Firstly, on the blue corner, Rayyan Ahmed, who's obviously hosted some of our episodes. How are you, Rayyan?
I'm fine. Just very, very nervous for the game on Sunday. It's always a banger against Liverpool.
For sure. And on public demand, we finally have Mohammed Abubakr. How are you doing, Abu?
I'm good. How are you?
And we also have Zain again, like I mentioned earlier. How are you doing, Zain?
Calm and collected.
Like Thiago?
Thiago, bro.
So big breaking news. I mean, Zain, just to put it out there first. I mean, Thiago signing done. I mean, I think 20 million and 5 million bonuses. I think Michael Edwards is a genius.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think, I mean, it is a lot for someone who's 29, and we could have signed him on a free, say, 3 months from now.
Right.
But the thing is, he wouldn't have been. You want that kind of player to play when he's at his prime at 29. The structure of the deal was the masterclass from Edwards. The fact that we only pay 5 million upfront, and rest all over time. Once we have the fans and all back, it's not that much that big a deal. 25 million.
Right. I mean, and then the Chelsea boys. What do you think of that Thiago signing? Nervous or still calm and collected after your transfer window?
So I have a question. Is Thiago going to replace Wijnaldum, or is he going to be on the bench, or what?
I think initially Thiago will be on the bench. That's how. I mean, if he's ready,
Klopp 6 games to ease him in. Like
With Liverpool, normally, especially in the midfield, you need time to settle in. So I think eventually, maybe he'd be part of a double pivot, or he'd be essentially replacing Fabinho. Yeah. So yeah, I think probably replacing Fabinho right now, but I think Gini is gonna move on probably to Barca anyway, so not much of a problem. He's not like any of our players, to be honest. So yeah, it's a lot of combinations that Klopp can go with in midfield.
Right. I mean, then we'll come back to Thiago in the end. We'll start off with the game Chelsea versus Liverpool. I just wanted to start with asking you all about the rivalry. I mean, I think this is one game. I think for both teams. I mean, they have different rivals, but I think if you look at over the last 15 years, I think both the teams have had the most memorable moments, and then also low points for each teams against Liverpool, between Liverpool and Chelsea. So, firstly, Rayyan, how do you I mean, what's your opinion about Liverpool? How much hatred is there for Liverpool?
See, Liverpool hatred, not really that much. It actually began probably, I'd say, 2 years back. Until 2018, didn't hate Liverpool that much. Although there have been some really, really classic matches that have been played between the two teams. You see, Abramovich, Roman actually buying the club. The result between Liverpool and Chelsea, that final at the Bridge in 2003, I think it was, and that crucial equalizer that got us Champions League football, that played a big part in Roman Abramovich buying the club. And since then, we've had some crazy games, especially in the Champions League. The 3-4 Champions League games, right off the top of my head, I can say are instant classics. You could say the Luis Garcia, he scored that ghost goal, as you say. As a Chelsea fan, I say it wasn't a goal, never crossed the line. And those matches in 2008 and 2009 in the Champions League, crucial semi-final battles, especially the 2009, the 4-4. Those were some classics.
I remember that.
And fast forward to, let's say, 2014, the infamous Slippy G moment. probably top 3 midfielders of the Premier League of all time, but still that moment really taints his career. And recently, Liverpool have had the upper hand, especially in the league. Probably some cup games we have won quite well, played some brilliant games and scored some brilliant goals, especially credit to Eden Hazard. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun match. Both teams are strengthened, especially. Probably you won't see that strength in Liverpool side, especially no Thiago, most probably this weekend. But you would expect to see a real belter of a match this Sunday.
Right. And Abu, I mean, do you agree with Rayyan like on the Liverpool rivalry part? I mean, is there the same hatred for you also?
Honestly, when I started watching in around like 2010 or 9, that around that time Liverpool dropped off from their form. Benitez
Yeah.
left and Roy Hodgson came in. So I wasn't really worried about Liverpool because they didn't challenge us for anything. The
Right.
only hate
Okay.
I got was from you being my brother and a Liverpool fan. So I wanted to see you lose. That's the only reason I
Wow.
maybe hate Liverpool. Otherwise, I never, because from 2010 to maybe even 2017 till Klopp came in, Liverpool never challenged Chelsea. So
Right.
yeah,
I mean, Zenbai, but I mean, the Chelsea boys have said they don't really see Liverpool, didn't see Liverpool as a rival over the years. I mean, because Liverpool weren't as good. But I mean, for us Liverpool fans, I mean, I think Chelsea more than Man United for some reason have bugged us and then irritated us. What do you agree with that? I
Oh,
mean, because
no,
there's been
not
so
at all.
many moments. I mean, stuff
Mhm.
like, I mean, they wanted to sign Gerrard, if you remember, back in I think
Mhm.
2005, and then
5.
games, and then the League Cup final. I think Gerrard scored an own goal, and then Torres signing for Chelsea. They snatched Salah from us, I think, in the start. So there have been so many moments, and then there's the Gerrard slip. So is there a case like Chelsea being bigger than United as rivals in the last? I mean, not literally, but I mean, like in terms of games and moments.
Uh, I mean, yeah, there is an argument to be had if you really dive deep into it. Then over the years, you would say that, Liverpool and Chelsea have come up against each other a lot more, especially in crucial stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you made a good point. When you mentioned that, that's when I thought about it. Yeah, we do. Um, they are our direct rivals. They have been for a while. But there's no deep-rooted hatred, I would say, yet. I think with United, there's always going to be deep-rooted hatred and despise for each other. I don't think it's that way with Chelsea. It's just, it's a lot of banter, I think.
Right.
Them having no history, us having no present till last year, till Klopp came. So I think, yeah, it's all a bit of banter. I don't think there's deep-rooted hatred as such as, yet. Might move on from there. Let's see.
Right. I mean, then we'll move on to a quick review of both the games, Chelsea versus Brighton, and then Liverpool versus Leeds. I mean, come to Chelsea first. I mean, good win to start off the campaign, boys. Ryan, you can go first.
A win is a win. You could say 3 points, very crucial start of the season. Always, it's very, very important to start a league season off with a win. But not to actually very, very upset about the performance we put in. That's not a performance if you per se title challengers. And actually, I might sound a bit crazy, but recently I've started an agenda, you could say, against Lampard, because I haven't seen a clear any kind of tactics from Lampard. When you compare it with, say, Arteta, you see Arteta, he has a plan in place. Well, Lampard, in my opinion, I don't think he's the guy who's going to be like there for 5-10 years. Next 5-10 years, who's going to lead us. Although the board has put in a lot of invested a lot in Lampard, but we need to see a clear style of play established as soon as possible. You could credit to him. You could say that there were no important starters weren't present, but still you could say Hudson-Odoi deserved to start. He showed some really good moments in preseason. Mason Mount barely onto that left wing, and Havertz, obviously, I don't understand all the criticism. First match, 21 years old, world of pressure on him, and obviously you could have expected a little a quiet performance from him, and that's what you got. Werner was very, very exciting. Obviously, Reece James stole the show with that brilliant drive from outside the box and a lucky assist, you could say. And basically, 3 points is 3 points. And one thing I noticed was the defensive structure was much, much better than the last season. We were pretty compact. A few moments when the midfield were got out, but overall, it was a really good defensive performance. And I'd like to not comment on Kepa. I think Abubakr would agree with me. No comment on Kepa. And overall, it was a meh performance, I could say.
Right. I mean, Abu, what do you think about Chelsea's first game? I mean, and do you agree with Rayyan's comments on Lampard not being the man?
First of all, I don't agree with Rayyan, and I'll come back to that later. Considering the way we started off the game, I thought, we might draw this game or even lose because Brighton were dominating us. They had all of the ball for almost like 60, 70 minutes. But still, somehow we managed to, salvage the win. I think this is what we were lacking last season. Like in such games, when we started off poorly, we could not come back in the second half. And then we were losing our crucial points. So yeah, I'm happy that we won, but yeah, I hope the team gels quickly and finds the chemistry, and we can see some great football in the future.
Right.
And coming to Lampard, I mean, his second season as a manager, and comparing him with Arteta is like, Arteta has worked under Pep Guardiola, and Lampard has, started his own career. So yeah, I think you have to give him time. You can't judge him after one season with Chelsea. He's just got his players, and yeah, maybe after this season you can say he's not good enough if he doesn't do well.
Right. I mean, Zanbai, and what do you think about Chelsea's first game? I mean, lots of positive signs also. I mean, I think for them, like Werner was particularly good, and then the emergence of Reece James. What do you make of Chelsea in the first game?
Yeah, Chelsea looked threatening. I think Chelsea to us will always be a threat.
Yeah.
What I noticed, because we were doing this podcast, I went back and saw the first half, which I had missed as well. Something that I noticed was that Brighton did a really good job at cutting off supply to Jorginho, which forced the play out wide quite a bit. So, and our players press better than Brighton's players. So that might be a really key battle for us. But Chelsea themselves look really good, to be honest. They look threatening. I mean, yeah, there's instabilities for sure. They'll lose a lot of games if they don't have their defense intact. But man, as a Chelsea fan, I'd be excited for this season just because they're going to get pure heavy metal football. So it's fun to watch. They probably won't win anything. Depends on how the team gels and if they get a new keeper, which they definitely need. But as far as entertainment goes, Chelsea are going to be box office most of the time, I think.
Right.
Really fast, skillful players. It's going to be fun.
I mean, what's your take on Lampard? I mean, what makes you think that he's going to do well? I mean, like, what did you see in him? Like, which kind of makes you nervous being a Liverpool fan?
Nothing really makes me nervous about Lampard, but I do think that he did an okay job. I mean, there was a transfer ban and stuff. They had good players coming back, true. But, despite having a transfer ban, taking the, Champions League spots to the last day, I think he did a decent, good job. Got, I guess that was the aim anyway.
Right.
So he achieved that within the first season. This season, however, with all the players that he has, obviously there's going to be pressure.
Right.
Last season, you could have just wrote off, regardless of where Lampard finished, saying that, we didn't have transfers, Lampard couldn't make the team or whatever. But this time, there's literally no excuses. You can't have an excuse saying if they don't sign one. You can't have an excuse saying, oh, but we didn't have a good keeper. Well, you had the money, you should have signed a new keeper rather than spending it on so many attacking players, which you probably don't even need. So, attacking-wise, they're fully sorted.
Right.
Sorry?
We have signed a keeper, to be honest. Just not announced yet.
I think Eduardo Mendy.
Eduardo Mendy.
Okay.
I haven't heard of him. I haven't seen him play, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see how
kind of a bargain deal, you could say. 18 million.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so we talked about Chelsea. I mean, and then we'll quickly move on to the other team involved. Zenbai in the first game. I mean, Liverpool and Leeds. What a game! 4-3. Really exciting game. Really exciting start. But I mean, were you slightly disappointed with Liverpool's performance in the defense, especially?
No, I'll take this every week, man. Like that kind of entertainment, it's brilliant. Honestly, like yeah, we won the league. Let's have some more entertainment. Although yeah, we were entertaining last season as well, obviously.
Yeah.
But I really like the chaos that we play, and actually being excited every single match. That's what football's about for me. So I'll have this every week if I have to. But that's not gonna happen. I'll tell you why. Because teams don't attack Liverpool. Teams are scared to attack Liverpool. If they do, they will score. Trust me, any team that attacks Liverpool can score because of the way we play. We've had problems against Norwich last season, Leeds now. Chelsea has always given us a problem. City's given us a problem. Arsenal's given us problems. But we've always overcome those problems. Why? Because, if teams attack that much, your defense isn't going to be as good. It's natural. Your balance can't be good if you attack that much. And it just so happens that our defense is slightly better than the others, and our forward line is slightly better than the others. So most of the time, it might be a high-scoring game, or there might be a lot of chances, but we almost always get the job done. So if people do attack us, they will score.
Right.
And that's what we saw with Leeds.
Right. I'll come to Abu now. Abu, what do you think about Liverpool in the first game? I mean, I know after speaking to you, you've said you don't see Liverpool finishing on the top. Why do you think that is the case? And yeah, just what you thought about the first game.
Yeah, the first game was really exciting to watch. Leeds playing the football, pressing high, matching, going head to head against Liverpool. It was a great game of football. But yeah, I don't think Liverpool will have it easy to win the Premier League again this year, because the season before last season they got 97 points, which was an incredible season. They would have won the title any other year. And the next season again they got 99 or something. I don't know. It was another great season, and I don't know. Maybe sometimes teams might lose the motivation, to win more. But like you guys said, Liverpool are mentality monsters. So I don't know what to expect, but I just hope Liverpool don't win the league. And looking at the performance and their defense in the first game, maybe there's a chance they don't win the league.
Right. And I mean, Rayyan, just finishing off on the first game week review for Liverpool. What do you think about the first performance and game? I mean, really exciting game, like everybody said.
As I said, it was pure box office entertainment. Really out of the, jump out of your seat football, you could call that. And probably took me back to 2017-18 season, kind of. The defending and the relentless attacking.
Yeah.
Really impressive Leeds, as you know, Marcelo Bielsa, genius manager. And you just pushing players forward, at a time, there were at least 5 to 6 lead players in your box whenever they were attacking. And as Abu said, I really think it won't be as easy for you to win the title as it was last season, because there are probably 2 reasons you could say. Other teams have strengthened, and I don't think Pep Guardiola, who is your biggest title challenger, will accept this shambles of a title defense that he had last season. And he definitely come up with something new to regain that dominant form they had the past 2 seasons before last season. And as Abu said, the motivation factor. 2 seasons they've given their all basically, and the front three have not had a significant injury at all. So and plus you guys don't have any depth in the forward line. That's one thing. And one injury to any of the front three, and you guys will be facing a major loss, because those guys, Mane, Salah, and Firmino, all of them ridiculous goal outputs past 3 seasons. So Firmino, as you know, the most underappreciated player in the world. And coming back to the performance, it was basically heavy metal football, as you could say. That's it. As Abubakr said, the motivation factor and the fitness issues, they might creep up because you've given your all last 2 seasons. And I don't know if they'll have that same mentality going into this season again.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll take it immediately to the game on Sunday. So how do you see?
One thing I'd like to add on the game,
Yeah,
first game, even though the defense looked a bit shaky for Liverpool, it was scary to see Salah, the way he played.
yeah.
Looked
You
like
called him, I think, a
he,
one-season wonder before.
no, I never caught Salah once.
No one called
the
Salah
the
one
way
season
Salah played, the way he was
except Twitter.
attacking the defenders and his
Yeah.
dribbling, it
Running at them.
looked like he was back to that 2017 season form. Yeah, if Salah can continue his form, then maybe Liverpool will race to the title.
Right. I mean, fascinating. I mean, so Ryan, I was just asking you about the game on Sunday. I mean, how do you see it panning out in terms of lineups? And I mean, do you see Chelsea causing further problems to that Liverpool defense?
Um, it's really a very grey zone. I don't think you don't know which Chelsea might turn up. First of all, I don't think Jorginho is going to play because Kovacic is back, and the performance Kante put in against Brighton, I don't think he can be dropped after that. And uh, the defense, as I said, it's looked much better than it was last season. I was particularly happy with the coaching that was put into the defensive line and shape. And coming to the front line, Werner, your high line, as Abubakr said, looked very shaky against Leeds United. They were getting in behind at will, and Werner is really good at exploiting that. If he breaks even one offside trap, you have got players like Havertz, you've got players like Reece James who can just slip one ball over the top and he's in one-on-one against your goalkeeper. And those are the areas that have to be exploited. And for me personally, I think I'd go with a three-man midfield instead of a pivot. We'll be able to combat against your Naby Keita and Gini Wijnaldum and Jordan Henderson, I presume, who are going to be the three players who play. Or Fabinho, I believe.
I think Fabinho should start.
Fabinho will be back, right? Yeah. And as you say, Mohammed Salah, I'm just begging Alonso, or I'm just begging Azpilicueta place. I don't want to see Alonso on the team sheet after Tariq Lamptey took him to the cleaners. And when Tariq Lamptey on steroids and Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah upgraded Leandro Trossard. I don't know what kind of hell will be unleashed on Marcos Alonso. So I don't think I want to see. I'd rather play with 10 men than play with Marcos Alonso against Liverpool.
Oh my God.
Even 10 men would put in a better performance. Actually, I'd rather play with 9 men. No Kepa also. I'd put Gerd Zouma as the goalkeeper. He'd have a better wingspan. He can save shots better than Kepa. If I want my preferred lineup, I'd go with a wooden stick as a goalkeeper. And then Reece James, Gerd Zouma, hopefully Thiago Silva is fit. If he's not fit, then I'm going to go with Christensen because he's pretty good against strikers who are not aerially good, not those strong, typical number 9s. He's better when he's not playing them. He's playing Firmino. And I'd go with Azpilicueta at left back. And I think I'd like to be a little more conservative this time around. I'll put Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic in the midfield three because those guys dominated our midfield last season, the Super Cup. You can't forget that performance. All three of them were really, really good. And the front three I'd put in as Werner, Giroud, and Hudson-Odoi.
Right. I mean, Zain bhai, what do you think about the game at hand? I think especially, I think Rayyan mentioned Werner, and then Werner's probably going to play on that left side, and then Liverpool, I think with Alexander-Arnold and Joe Gomez. I mean, Matip might start, but if there's a weak point, I think it's that channel, I mean, and behind. So, I mean, I think Chelsea will look to exploit that, I mean, through long balls in behind and then putting Werner through.
Yeah, 100%.
1 second, Zain, just one interruption. I think it will be better for Chelsea to attack down Liverpool's right-hand side and exploit Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold because they've looked really weak.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah. Sorry, Zain, continue, please.
Yeah. I think that hits the nail on the head. That's what I was looking at. Like I noticed how Brighton cut off, the supply to Jorginho, and Firmino is going to do that. Our wide forwards are going to tuck in a little bit. So that means Chelsea's going to be forced to play a little wide, go to the fullback. the fullbacks are going to be pretty clear. So, our wing backs have to close them down. And that coupled with a high line leaves a lot of space for Werner to run into. I think that's going to be like a key point for Chelsea, definitely. That's one area that they should be looking to exploit. I don't think anyone can catch up with Werner, but our centre backs are really fast. Probably the fastest pairing in world football right now, Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk.
I mean, do you see then why Klopp's being slightly cautious? He's adapted in the past. I mean, you see him giving Henderson a bigger responsibility on that side, and then how do you see tackling that?
I think I would actually see maybe we might see Henderson in a 6.
Right.
Just because he's a lot quicker than Fabinho to cover the spaces that Trent leaves behind, especially. So that might be interesting to see because Henderson doesn't get done for pace a lot. He's even quicker than Trent. So that's not going to be much of a problem. So I do see him, potential playing in a 6, and he's tactically really aware. So that might be something that we look at for sure.
And then asking about our front three. I mean, you see, when in form and when Klopp usually has like a full week to prepare. We're usually. The front three are usually on point. So you see them causing a lot of problems for the Chelsea defense. I mean, there's content to tackle, but
like I said, if Chelsea try to attack Liverpool, there's going to be a lot of spaces for Liverpool to exploit. And right now, Liverpool have a much more settled team. They know what their jobs are. And Salah, if he plays like what he did, Chelsea are in for a hell of hurt. Mane, Mane's Mane, Firmino's Firmino. It's just fantastic front three that we have. So we are going to cause them problems. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. It's going to be entertaining for sure. No doubt about that.
And Abu, what do you think about the tactical analysis, like both Rayyan and Zain mentioned? How do you see the game panning out?
If you remember, in the end of the last season, Lampard played a back three against Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he'll go back to the back three with Reece James and Azpilicueta as wing backs, or maybe Reece James and Alonso as wing backs, and Azpilicueta, Zuma, and Christensen as the centre backs. But even with the back three, we conceded 5 goals that game. But you could argue, one could argue that one was the Trent Alexander on a free kick, and then Keita scored a long ranger. And this time the defense looks more settled. So I don't know. Kante is back fit and he's looking good. Kante and Kovacic in the middle, and then maybe Werner and Mount is going to start definitely because he's Lampard's boy. So Mount is going to start. Mount, Werner, and maybe Hudson-Odoi, or maybe if he trusts Havertz and gives him another chance. I'd like to see Havertz play because he needs time so that he can quickly settle in the Premier League.
Do you see any other avenue for Chelsea apart from Werner on that side? Where's the? I'm struggling to find out who can cause other problems for Liverpool.
If we play a back three, then maybe the wing backs can get forward and nullify the threat of your wing backs. But I'm not sure if he'll do that, or maybe play Giroud because he played quite well against Liverpool last game.
Yeah.
And Werner on the left, Giroud, and maybe Havertz, Mount, or Hudson-Odoi, whoever. Because if Giroud is there, we have the outball to beat the press, and he can link up with Werner.
Yeah, I think Giroud and Werner is actually a pretty good combination if it works out. I think Giroud's pretty underrated at getting people into the game. So,
and also, I'm not sure about our players coming back. Pulisic might be fit or might not. Thiago Silva is training. Chilwell is training. I don't know who's going to come back and whatnot.
And all the hype about your signings, I almost forgot about Pulisic, man. That guy's also incredible.
Another player I think we were linked with and we missed Zain.
Yeah, definitely. I think overall it's just going to be a very entertaining game. The difference is going to be who finishes better. I think there's going to be chances on either end. The finishing will be the difference, and also I think Kante can be a big difference for Chelsea. If he has like one of his games where he goes absolutely crazy, shutting out every attack, then yeah, it's going to be a Chelsea day.
Right.
And
Yeah, and go
one
on.
second, I'd just like to add, Kovacic, if he plays, he's going to be really, really crucial in beating the press, because we couldn't beat the press at Brighton. And Kovacic with his dribbling ability, carrying the ball from deep, Yaya Toure, that's going to be really, really important for us.
Right. I mean, and then Lampard and Klopp had that falling out of sorts in the last game they met at Anfield. I mean, and Lampard has showed that he isn't afraid to like go like toe to toe with the likes of Klopp and Guardiola. So Rayyan, like, what do you think about that personality of Lampard? I mean, he's obviously going to learn tactically, but I mean, he's not afraid to go head to head.
Those are the attributes of Lampard. I actually
And like,
really,
how does it basically? I wanted to ask, how does it basically rub off on the team, like the personality of Lampard?
It rub offs really positively, because it gives that fighting spirit and that hard mentality that you have to really, really work hard in the game. And what could I say? That mentality is really, really important for any team to succeed. That never give up, and the kind of the fiery spirit they need. So
Right.
that is one of the attributes of Lampard I actually really like. Obviously, I might have been a little too harsh on him tactically. He has to take time for him to really evolve tactically. So, but those 3-4 things are really important in a really good coach, and eventually he'll tactically probably grow. So,
Right.
as you mentioned, that fiery spirit, it really rubs off on the squad really well.
Right. I mean,
I
also
think-
Ahmed.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly speaking, I thought Lampard was a bit immature with his press conferences and stuff going after Klopp and Liverpool like that. I think it was unnecessary. The fact that like Klopp barely even, I don't even think he acknowledged it.
Yeah.
It
Not
shows
like
that,
it was unprovoked.
yeah, it was just someone yapping in the background. They're like, yeah, who cares about you anyway? So I felt like that might have the opposite effect on the players. Even, I mean, it's not a big deal, but eventually it was like, oh, our manager's yapping off, and the other managers don't even respect him.
I think you
immature.
mentioned a really good point. I think Klopp Zenway, in that terms, he doesn't get involved in mind games. I think he is basically more focused on his team and then his preparation. He doesn't get involved in this, and I think that's like a really good quality to have.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can take on Klopp. I mean, he's just too carefree about these things, especially.
Right.
He's too concerned about his own team, like you said. So yeah, I don't. I mean, to be fair to Lampard, he's a young manager. He'll learn with time. That's not a I don't think it was a positive thing as such. Yeah.
I mean, just quickly. I mean, it's an important game for both the teams. I think. I mean, because like for Liverpool, especially Zenbai, I mean, we have like a pretty tough start. I mean, I think we play City and then Everton. I think before November. I think. So it's important to like pick up the win, or at least not lose, so that you don't want to lose early in the season and play catch up if City win. So it's an important game. And then for Chelsea also, like I'll come to the Chelsea ball also. I mean, like there's hopes of title challenges. I mean, you don't want to lose to a rival and then be down so early in the season. So it's an important game, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was getting a little worried because of the trends that we saw, at the end of last season, and how we started out. I mean, Leeds is actually a pretty tough game it's going to be a tough game for anyone, I think. So I was a little bit worried, but even if we were to lose to Chelsea, obviously, you'd go you'll have to play catch up a little bit. But having said that, the signing of Thiago just changed a lot of things. Like it's made me so excited for the season going ahead. I don't think it matters that much. I think because we aren't a settled team anymore. There's going to be further evolution, I think. So we're going to get better this season with time. And the other thing that Abu mentioned about, how we've been, 97 points, 99 points last 2 seasons. I actually don't think that's that big a factor, because last season, I don't think we got out of second or third gear at any given point. So I don't think there's a case of burnout there. So I do feel like there is further room for this team to grow, especially because we can evolve now with Thiago and the team.
Right. I mean, I wanted to come back to you on one thing you mentioned at the start. I mean, Gini is probably going to stay and then add more depth to the midfield, and then Fabinho will probably cover for the centre back position, like fourth centre back. Is that right?
Yeah, seems likely. I personally wouldn't I want us to sign another centre back for sure, especially because Joe Gomez is gonna be our cover for right back as well, pretty much. Sure, Fabinho can play that. I mean, they're not ready-made, right backs and stuff. So keep centre backs as centre backs, man. You need really good centre backs.
Yeah.
As bad as Lovren was for us, last year and stuff, whenever he
It was
played,
a great fourth
it
choice.
was a decent fourth choice. So
Yeah.
we can, maybe one of the youngsters gets a chance, but I don't think any of them are ready yet.
Yeah.
I would like to see us get another centre back for sure before the end of the window. Another centre back and an attacking
Right.
player.
Right, and then Abu and Rayyan, just to talk about important game for Chelsea. I mean, don't want to lose in the start, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, Abu can go first, and then Rayyan.
Yeah, I think it's not that big a game for Liverpool as it is for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Because after all the signings, Lampard is being judged every minute, every game, and you have to deliver after signing all these players. And yeah, I think it'll be a really big confidence boost if you beat the title winners of last year, and then we can go on from that because we have like an easy run of fixtures after Liverpool, and if we can capitalize and get a string of wins early on, it'll be a great boost for the team. But having said that, I would not judge Liverpool on the last game because Leeds, as you know, they're actually a good side and they'll trouble anyone. So I think if Liverpool turn up, then it might be hard for Chelsea to win.
Yeah.
And also, I just hope it's not a battering or something which will, break
And
It
the
the
might be.
confidence. Yeah.
the
Might be.
team, and then Lampard will be like
The pressure.
heavily judged by everyone. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just hoping for the best. And with some players out and with Kepa, you don't know what's going to come.
Yeah. And Rayyan, just to add on that.
As he said, it's really, really important for us. This game really help in building up some momentum. As he said, easy run of fixtures after this. But to be honest, I don't think Lampard cares about what the media says. We've seen that he mentioned I thrive off the pressure. The more pressure you put on me, the better I do. He said that because last season he was being criticized, like not criticized, he was being applauded for integrating the youth and all. And he said he wants to be a winning manager, not a manager who just brings academy graduates in. And actually, I'm predicting it could be a high-scoring draw this week.
Right.
I'm for a 2-2. You remember the game 2018 1-1 Sturridge last minute winner? I'm kind of predicting a similar game, similar intensity.
Right. I mean, and
And
then
one
yeah.
thing I'd like to add, forgot. You can carry on.
Okay, you can come back. But I was just going to ask you the prediction, boys. I mean, if I'm going to put you on the spot before we go, I mean, Zain bhai, prediction for the game. I mean, we've won. I think last year also we won 3 games against Chelsea. I mean, if I'm being like a practical person who's going on law of averages, I think Stamford Bridge away, you see a draw or a win for Liverpool or Chelsea win.
The thing is, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like I
Yeah.
said, depends on who takes the chances better.
Yeah.
Salah seems to have the scoring boots back on. So I don't know. Let's see. I think Werner's going to be key. If he's going to get chances. If he converts them, he's going to be firing on all cylinders from this game week then. But he is going to get decent chances, and he misses them. It's going to be a little bit unsettling, I think, for him. So this is a really good opportunity for him to score. I would say 4-2 Liverpool, but
4-2
it could
Liverpool.
go.
Okay.
You could also go the other way around, I think. But I think 4-2 Liverpool, we should be able to.
Right. Interesting. And Abu and Rayyan?
Yeah, I'd like to add that
4-0.
I'm I'm not going to settle for a top 3, top 4 this season.
Yeah.
I think after Mendy is going to come, we might be able to challenge for the title.
Yeah.
So because this is Chelsea, and we've been winning titles regularly 2 or 3 seasons apart. So I hope we challenge for the title, and winning against Liverpool will be like a big step for Lampard and for the team.
I think if Lampard even manages to breaks into the top 2, I think it'll be a big achievement because I think until Guardiola and Klopp are there, I mean, in terms of everything, like man management, tactics, they're settled. So if Lampard breaks into the top two, I think in that sense it'll be like a big achievement. And Rayyan, your prediction, and then just on finishing on that topic of managers. Yeah.
Back to just a point about Abu Mendy. He mentioned Mendy. He won't be obviously he won't be available for the Liverpool game. But statistically, you see, based on pure statistics, he was the 9th best goalkeeper in Europe last season. Just going statistically. And as you said, top three I would take, and closing the gap on the champions. Last season we were 33 points behind Liverpool. Probably if you could get maybe 10, 12 points behind Liverpool this season, I'd call it a big success. And add to it a European trophy, not a European trophy, but any trophy, Carabao Cup, League Cup, any Champions League would be like the cherry on the top. And coming back this weekend, I'm going for a high scoring draw. Could be 2-2, 3-3 maybe, 3-3 or 2-1. I'm going for something like that. It's going to be. See, I'm telling you now, if Chelsea want to win, then they have to score at least minimum of 4 goals, because with Kepa in there, we are going to concede at least 3, because with even 3 targets, it's going to be 3 goals. So for us to win, it's going to have to be at least 4.
Right.
So I'm going for a 2-2 or a 3-3, somewhere there.
Right. All right. I mean, thank you guys for your inputs. It was.
What's your prediction?
I think I'm going for like a 2-2 draw. I think, I don't know why. I mean, it's in my nature to not get to.
Might be that.
Yeah, I mean, I just think 2-2 draw. And one more thing I forgot before going. I mean, Trent versus Reece James. And is it like new Lampard versus Gerrard at right back? I mean, or do you think Trent is going to be miles ahead?
Trent is miles ahead, for the fact that I have no idea what Reece James even plays like. I haven't seen much of him, to be honest.
Probably by next year you see.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to check him out this game. Let's see what he does. I have no idea what he plays like or anything.
Right. Fantastic. I mean, I think that should be pretty much it. Thank you guys for your valuable inputs, and hopefully it's like a cracking game like the one last time out, and hope we have...
Actually, I don't think it'll be a cracking game, because Lampard might go for a defensive approach.
He might go full Mourinho.
Maybe it's possible, because he goes to the back three in big games.
Okay.
So yeah, don't get your expectations high, hoping for a 3-3 or 4-4 and end up with a 1-1.
Actually, he raised a really good point, Abubakr.
Okay, thank you for spoiling my ending. And
sorry, Hamdu, one more spoil. Let me just help everyone out by saying triple captain Salah again.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
I told you first week, just go for triple captain Salah. Anyone listen to me? You got a lot of points. You're welcome.
I'm captaining Werner this week again.
Yeah, I'll captain Werner as well.
I'm going to captain Kepa.
All right, guys. I mean, again, thank you. And to all the people who are going to watch, please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And let us know in the comments what you think. Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.